welcome back to another episode of Why I Love BNI, your podcast following different business owners on their business, their journey with BNI, and what kind of advice do they have for us other BNI members. So I'm super excited to share with my guest, Denise. Denise, thank you so much for coming on today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Macy. Thank you for having me.
Of course. Well, I feel like this has been a long time coming, but Denise has a lovely business that I've personally gotten to experience myself. So I'll let her kind of take it away in a second. But I'm just really thrilled for her to share some really great stuff that she's doing in her business and then also in her BNI chapter. So, Denise, why don't you kick us off and tell us a little bit about what you do and how you help people?
So my company is Fasta's Photo Booth Service. And I started this company. I'm actually celebrating my 1 year anniversary as a photo booth owner, entrepreneur.
Woo!
And so the name Fasta's Photos, my wife is her adopted parents are Danish, and the word Fasta is the word for father's sister. So
Oh,
she is Fasta to her nephew and her nieces, and it's very near and dear to our heart. And so we did Fasta's Photos, both with the FF on it for photo booth services to just have to have the company have a more of a deeper meaning to us personally. And so we started it a year ago and are in our entrepreneurship. And so I had actually previously been working for a company for 11 years, and the company kind of went kaputs, and I decided to take ownership of myself and my own company with my photo booth company.
that's amazing. And you have a really cool photo booth. So I think people have different ideas of what a photo booth is because it's changed
Yes.
so much throughout the years. But do you want to explain your setup and what you do?
Yeah, so mine is much newer modern technology, bringing that old school photo booth up to, the new and the now of today. So it is a open air concept booth. It sits on a pedestal. It uses an iPad for the program, has this, neat lighting ring that sits around it, and I can do all of these great new high-tech things with it. So it's not just taking a picture and having it print out. I can do overlays, I can do face filters, colored filters, different backgrounds, virtual backgrounds. So everything that I can do can be done virtually,
Wow.
even the picture. So once you're done taking your picture, you put your phone number or your email address into the screen, and whoop, there you go. It gets digitally sent to you right away. So you don't even have to wait for a printout.
Yeah, and then I mean, I hope everyone knows what these are, but when I was a kid or like when I was in middle school, the biggest thing that was my entire generation was obsessed with was those filters on like Snapchat. And now you
Mhm.
have it on Instagram and they've definitely like matured to what they used to be because like back in the old day, it was like the flower crown and like the little dog
Oh,
and
there's
stuff.
still a flower crown, by the
Yes.
way.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like it's so cool that when I experienced yours, you have all these cool filters. And they were seasonal too. I'm pretty sure like there were some fall ones, maybe. I remember like Halloween ones, I think, at the
Yes.
time.
Yeah.
And you can have all types of filters. And that's what I was gonna bring it back. So like that's it's so cool that it's so easy too. It's not like a huge setup. You just go a few seconds. And I think I have some photos on my phone. So let me see if during editing, I can like pop my personal photos with that Denise took of me and my father at one of the events
Mhm.
because it's seeing is believing and they're really, really cute.
Yeah. And so if you're going to insert those, I would like to say that, so we did that event for the morning mixer
Hmm.
for the chamber. And knowing all of that information, I then actually created an overlay specifically customized to the event. So that shows up on each and every picture. Along with, then you as the guest using the photo booth can then choose whether or not you want to do a filter or you do want to do a filter. Then at
Yeah.
that point, but every picture showed up about the morning mixer on there, so that Kelly, who was sponsoring the mixer, all of her information showed up on every picture so that everyone knew, hey, this is her business, this is what she's doing, this is what she's promoting, so that
Yeah,
so that it
yeah, yeah, yeah.
wasn't
It's
just about me and my photo booth, it was also
exactly.
about her in the morning mixer.
Exactly. And it's nothing crazy. I think the biggest fear us entrepreneurs have when we're marketing or when we're doing these types of things is we don't want to be in people's faces, right? You don't want to be obnoxious. You don't want to seem pushy. You don't want to seem like the used car salesman. And that's a big
Very true.
anxiety. But your
About
photos
farming, not hunting.
but your photos and the filters, and I'm gonna post it so like people can see like it's a very small filter and it's something that's cute anyway and it fits in with your photo.
Yes.
And I think that's what I really love about what you're doing is it's such a great like subtle way of marketing and it's like a quick little reminder and it's not just like in your face, but it's
Yes.
right there and you know
Yes.
it's great that you remember especially the event that you went to because I remember it but I know there's been many times I've met people at events and I'm like, hey, and they're like, I actually don't remember where we met. And I'm like, oh, okay. I remember.
Oh yeah, yeah, I remember. Yeah, oh, that picture,
Yeah,
and then you
exactly.
pull it up and you're like, hey, there's a link to her website right there.
Well, switching topics just a little bit because we know each other through BNI, because we're
Mhm.
in different chapters,
Sure.
but a really great thing about BNI is you're able to visit other chapters. And I think it's specifically for seats open, so don't quote me, I'm not BNI official. But I was able to visit your BNI chapter, and number one, it's a wonderful chapter. Number two, how did you get involved with BNI? Like who brought you in the first place?
So as I mentioned before, I had worked for a previous company. So when I was with that company, I was doing a chamber event, and Annie Heil, who some people might know when I say that name, she's been in BNI for quite some time, and she was at the chamber event as well, and we sat next to each other, and she just simply asked me, she's like, "Are you looking to grow your business?" And I'm like, "Sure." And she handed me her BNI invite card and said, "Hey, come to our meeting on Wednesday morning at this time." And it actually was 2 months before I went.
Wow.
But once I went and I saw, not just the amount of people there, but they were talking about how many referrals they passed. And it was all of these different types of businesses from white collar to blue collar, and everything in between. Um, and they were all passing business to each other. So I was like, I have to be in that. So I will be coming up on 5 years
Wow.
in March that I've been in
Congrats.
BNI now. Yeah.
That's amazing. Something I really loved about BNI and doing this podcast is finding out so many people who have been in BNI for so many years.
Mhm.
Because what about maybe your chapter or BNI for you? Have you seen that you're like, yeah, no, I have to continue renewing. I have to stay in. Like 5 years is nothing at this point.
Right, right. So now with my new business, definitely I've um this is a different chapter for me. I've now been in this chapter a little less than a year.
Hmm.
Um, but again, and because BNI has a certain way that they do things, you'll find that the chapters, the way that they do, it doesn't matter what chapter you go to, everybody has that level of accountability
Right.
to them. So, and not just that, it's also that giver's gain
Exactly.
um mentality as well. So that's really, I think, what keeps me in BNI is that giver's gain. I'm I am definitely that type of mindset that I always want to help other people.
Right.
And to now be involved in a group that has that mindset to help other people, it like it fills my cup and it overflows it. So it's not just me giving, it's
Hmm.
those giving around me. And so it just really that too, not just getting the business, but being around those people that are givers just help fill you back up.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, I'm a very competitive person. I was a, child athlete kind of kid, but I think it's really special when you're able to see every week the leaderboard. And there's like half of you want to compete and you want to be on there, but then you're also like, holy crap, like, I didn't even realize this until you said this as well. It's like there's so many different types of businesses, but there's so much synergy with businesses you would never even see coming, right?
Mhm.
Like some of the best referrals that I have given or have gotten have been with those in the senior living area, which like you would have never expected. But those have been some of my best referral partners. And so it's really just like branching out and going to talk to those people in your chapter who you're like, oh, I don't know what we would do to refer each other. Just meet that one-to-one anyway. Make that connection. You never know
Right.
who is going to be there.
Absolutely.
And then, you just talk to as many people as you can and really find ways to work together. And I think I love that about BNI. Every time you get on a call, both of you guys have that mindset of like, all right, who's someone I can refer you to as soon as possible, or who is someone that like how can we help each other right now? It's not
Yeah.
in 3 years, like today, next week kind of thing.
Yeah. Like just a little backstory. The chapter I was in previously, I was very much in a blue collar industry.
Mm-hmm.
And I worked for a paver company. And there was a state lawyer in the chapter. And her and I were like, how do we do this? How do we refer each other and that? And we ended up like I had an in at the fly-in community. And so I was able to get her, I think I ended up giving her about 20 referrals out of that community.
Wow.
And in the same regards, because of the products that I sold, we ended up doing like a tailgating barbecue at her office, which promoted, my product and my company. And she did it kind of as a thank you
Mm-hmm.
to her clientele. So all her clientele was there, and I ended up getting about 2 or 3 referrals out of that.
That's
So
amazing.
it's you could always find ways to go outside the box, and by doing the one-to-ones, and being able to go, okay, how do I refer you? Well, that's what a one-to-one is for, to hash it out and talk it out and figure it out.
Exactly. And you just never know. Because I think I was talking to someone and I was like, oh, I don't know how like to refer you. She goes, oh, well, these are some great referrals from like, oh my gosh, we'll say less. I know so many people in those. And I think I passed her maybe like seven or so. And it's like I didn't even see it coming. So having that one-to-one, just having a quick conversation, it never hurts. It's so great to also learn about other industries. I've found a lot of fun learning about different people's industries. So Denise, to wrap it kind of up, like what kind of quick tips do you have for us kind of newer BNI members from your experiences so far?
Well, kind of going on what our conversation has been about is the one-to-ones. That I think is probably the most important things. You'll find when you look at your reports, you talk about being competitive, and that when you're doing those one-to-ones, those referrals come naturally.
Yeah,
So it is very important, and to not just do the standard,
right.
so to speak, but stepping it up a notch and doing 2 to 3 one-to-ones in a week. And Tim Roberts has a podcast that he talks about where he brings his calendar with him. So he has
Hmm.
all of his upcoming appointments scheduled right there. And that kind of helps spark those ideas of, oh, these are the people that I'm meeting with, these are the people that are in my network, how can we make that connection?
Exactly. So, Denise, thank you so much for coming on and spending a few minutes. I mean,
Absolutely.
I think I got carried away talking too much about your business. It's just so cool and fun to me. So, I really appreciate you coming on, sharing a few minutes of your time, explaining your business, and then also some really great tips. I think we had a really great time talking about BNI. So, I appreciate your time today.
Thank you so much, Macy, and thank you so much for doing this.
Of course.
I enjoy this podcast very much.
Thank
I'm
you.
not just a part of it, I also listen to it, so
Oh,
I
thank
enjoy it
you.
very, very much.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And to everyone listening and to Denise, I really appreciate you as well. And I'll see you next time. Bye.